Welcome, crypto fam, to number one daily Bitcoin pod. We're pumping back in the green. Bitcoin up 1,500 already on the day. I'll be breaking down the latest technical analysis and check it. Michael Saylor outlines the path for MicroStrategy becoming a $1 trillion company. Also, Max Kaiser says this is World War Bitcoin. It's a mad scramble to get more Bitcoin because the fiat world is collapsing. We'll also be discussing FBI token, how the FBI used a fake AI fun coin to nab fraudsters, hucksters, and flim-flam artists. We'll also be discussing the feds want Bitfinex hacker Razulkhan jailed for 18 months. I'll be breaking this down for you. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin to have a crazy decade as global wealth managers dive in. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin Prime to explode by over 120%, according to veteran trader Peter Brandt. I'll be sharing his timeline. We'll also be discussing U.S. election outcome won't stop Bitcoin from hitting 100,000 per coin, according to 10T Holdings' Dan Tapiero. I'll be breaking this down for you. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this plus so much more in today's show. Again, welcome all the new members, but let's kick it off. If you're new to the channel, important to smash the likes. Go ahead and subscribe. Then hit that bell icon. Turn on all notifications. Today is pod episode 1784. I'm your host, JV. It's October 11th, 2024. Make some noise for that. Let's kick it off with our market watch. I'm your host, JV. I'm here each and every day for you, fam. Let's kick it with the Coin 360 market watch. As you can see, Bitcoin in the green up 2.5% on the day, trading at 62.3. We have Ether up 1.5%, trading above 2,400. We have XRP, Solana, all the major alts in the green right now. And checking out coinmarketcap.com. Current crypto market cap sits at $2.17 trillion. Bitcoin market cap back above 1.23 trillion. And we got roughly 71 billion of volume at the past 24 hours. And the Bitcoin dominance is currently sitting at 56.7%, back on the rise, with the Ether dominance at 13.6%. And checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours, we got Athena 22%, WIF 15%, and PopCat up almost 15%. Which alts, if any, are you bullish on for the bull? Let me know. And checking out crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective on the daily. Virtually everything in the green. We love to see days like this in crypto. And zooming out on the monthly, majority of the market in the green. There's some new meme coin on the rise. It kind of looks like a Sheeb or Doge clone called Nero, and it shows up 4,236%. That's pretty crazy. And checking out the crypto greed and fear index today, we're rated a 32 fear, yesterday a 39, last week a 41, and last month a 37 in fear. In fact, let's get right into it. Here's today's technical analysis, aka astrology for the broskies. And again, I'll be pulling up some of the live charts. Bitcoin surfs US PPI overshoots as Bitcoin price recovers from sub $59,000 dip. Here you're looking at the 1 hour chart. Bitcoin edged towards 61.5 October 11th. For the Wall Street Open, as crypto ignored a fresh U.S. inflation curveball. Take that. Trading View showed new local high of 61,476, and currently we're above 62.3 at the time of the live stream. Quoting the the PPI data here. The index for the final demand, less foods, energy, and trade services inched up 0.1% in September after rising 0.2% in August. That's according to the labor statistics. For the 12 months ended in September, prices for the final demand, less foods, energy, and trade services increased 3.2%. If you believe these numbers, right? Thus, the PPI joined the CPI in signaling an increase in inflationary pressures, the latter already posing a nightmare for the Fed. Reacting Trading Resource, the BC letter, leveraged the results to argue that the Fed's 0.5% interest rate cut last month was unnecessary. Quoting them here, both core PPI and CPI inflation now officially back on the rise. The Fed did not need a 50 basis point rate cut, and having gained thanks to the Fed's move, crypto and risk assets began to diverge this week, with stocks headed higher while Bitcoin and alts saw selling pressure. The PPI print had a modest impact on market expectations for the Fed's next rate move in November. And according to the CME Fed Watch tool, the odds of a smaller 0.25% cut stood at nearly 84% on the day, with a roughly 17% chance of rates staying at the current levels. And monitoring the Bitcoin price action, market observers saw the potential for a retest of resistance higher up on the chart. Quoting them here, Bitcoin reclaimed 60,600, over 800 overnight, according to Justin Bennett. He also says, I never trust an Asia session pump, but if this holds, we can get to that 62,000 retest, and lo and behold, we're currently above 62. Happy days. Meanwhile, another trader, Roman, spied a market divergence while hoping for a revisit to 65 next. And another trader and Bessa identified 2 key levels above and below the spot price to watch for the shorter time frame, quoting him here. 63.9 remain and will lead to a continuation breakout short term. 60,200 breakdown could give us another dip, in my opinion. Final volatile dip. So there you go. And in other news, check this. Mikey Saylor outlines the path for MicroStrategy becoming a $1 trillion company. That's right, trillion, yo. I think it is infinitely scalable. I don't have any problem seeing how we could raise 100 billion more capital and then 200 billion after that. In fact, Mikey Saylor laid it all out in a tweet, and this highlights some of that. And probably in tomorrow's news, I'll cover this in greater detail as there will be articles published on it, and we'll spend a segment breaking this math down. But you already know, MicroStrategy on its way to becoming a $1 trillion company. It's infinitely scalable, and that means eventually Michael Saylor is going to be a trillionaire. I'll let that one sink in. And quoting Max Kaiser, High Priest, this is the World War Bitcoin. It's a mad scramble to get more Bitcoin because the fiat world is collapsing. So keep stacking them sats. Bitcoin's an insurance policy against financial collapse. Preach. And now for some of the live chart action Jackson for you guys. Welcome y'all just joining the stream. This is live and in the flesh. Live charts. Here we go. Trading View via Coinbase shows this is the 1 month. Let's start actually with the 1 hour and work our way backwards. And then we get a different perspective of the market. So yeah, big green candle already today. I'm digging it. Bitcoin up almost 2,000 already. We do have some bottom targets you need to be aware of on this is actually the daily chart. Let me get right to the hour. My bad. Meant to pull up the 1 hour and then we'll work our way back. So yeah, the 1 hour chart looking lit. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 green consecutive hourly candle closes. Gotta dig that. No particular targets. So let's zoom out from here to the 4 hour. The 4 hour chart shows we do have some very bullish momentum green 4 hour candles as well. We do have a bullish $81,300 target on the 4 hour chart, and we do have a green bearish target at 41.1. And zooming out from there, we'll go back to the daily. The daily chart shows us, again, there is a rising wedge formation, which is bullish, but we do have some bear targets you need to be aware of. One in the pink at 47.7 and one in the green at 41.2. And zooming out from there, we'll check out the 1 week chart. We still have that sexy cup and handle target sitting at $124,000. Very bullish, I believe, in play here for Q4 sometime between October and December for the Santa rally. And zooming out on the monthly, no particular targets, but you can see we had 7 sideways trading action months in a row, and we're hoping and praying October we break free and start ascending back to price discovery and hitting these new all-time highs. You already know, family. But let's continue with the news. Next headline here reads, oh, this is actually an interesting one. Headline is FBI token. How the FBI used the fake AI fund to nab fraudsters. Be careful. Now the FBI is launching their own tokens to set you up. So check this out. The United States FBI used a fake AI fund crypto to catch alleged fraudsters engaged in market manipulation. According to an October 7th indictment in Massachusetts Federal District Court, the coin, which the agency called NexFundAI, was presented as a crypto security that claimed to represent shares in an AI-related fund. And per the indictment, the FBI told scammers it wanted to help to manipulate the token's trading volume. This would fool investors into believing the coin was more popular than it actually was. Interesting. The scammers offered to help with the fraud, and the agency used the evidence collected during this process to get an indictment against them. This is the first time the FBI has admitted to creating a crypto as part of its investigation, and the first time it charged a crypto market maker with price manipulation. Crypto market makers have often been accused of manipulating prices in the past. FBI reportedly discovered July of 2024 the crypto market making firm MyTradeMM was offering to guarantee a minimum and maximum volume to token issuers. It allegedly made this offer on their own website, as outlined right here. Now, the agency's undercover officers met with a team member from the crypto exchange, L Bank, August 20th. L Bank used MTrade or MyTrade as a market maker. The officers agreed to launch the NexF token on L Bank and use MyTrade as the market maker. Later, the officers met with MyTrade founder Lu Zhao, also known as David Zhou or DZ, who allegedly explained in great detail how the firm used wash trading to artificially artificially increase volume to fool investors into buying coins and have no real organic interest, as well as how it facilitates pump and dumps. Quoting them here, we have to make them lose money in order to make profit and get the listing fee back, he allegedly stated to the officers. The NexFundAI token launched on or around October 2nd. Let me know if any of you have heard of it. On the L Bank exchange. On that day, MyTradeMM conducted millions of dollars worth of wash trades for approximately 60 clients, according to the indictment. It charges Zhao and two co-conspirators with conspiracy to commit market manipulation and wire fraud, which carries a sentence up to 5 years in prison. According to the October 9th DOJ announcement, Zhao had agreed to plead guilty to the crime. The DOJ simultaneously announced that 18 individuals were being charged in multiple crypto market manipulation cases, of which the NexFundAI case was only one. 3 conspirators were mentioned in the NexFundAI case, but only Zhao was named and charged. So is NexFundAI the same as BE54C coin? I never heard of this one either, but nonetheless, some crypto users have speculated the token named in the indictment is the one located at this particular ETH address. For example, blockchain analytics firm Bubble Maps posted to X stating, so the FBI launched the token and the bubble map looked like this. It provided a link to the Bubble Maps page for this BE54C token. The same day, Pop on Punk, creator of G8 Keep token, Discovery Protocol, claimed the BE54C token is the correct one, and they claimed the contract's auditor posted crypto emojis in response to the thought that they had helped the FBI. I mean, as shared here, I literally audited a effing smart contract written by the FBI to catch criminals and had no idea. Wow. FBI next level, yo. I mean, I'm not going to read any more of this story, but quite interesting. Now you know. They could be creating some of these meme coins, some of these ish coins. I don't have a better name for them. So be very careful what you invest in there, family. Next story of the day. Let's get through these headlines. Bitfinex hacker, they want a sentence to, looks like 18 months. Or she has been jailed for 18 months. At least the feds want to jail her for 18 months. This is the infamous Heather Morgan, the rapper herself. Let's break it down. U.S. prosecutors want Heather Morgan, also known as the rapper Razzle Khan, I think that's how you say the name. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe Razzle Khan or something. To spend 18 months in jail for her role in laundering 120,000 Bitcoin stolen from the crypto exchange Bitfinex back in 2016. Damn, 120,000 Bitcoin. Someone run the math on that right now today. In an October 9th filing, federal prosecutors asked Morgan be given a lenient sentence after she provided substantial assistance in her and her hubby Ilya Lichtenstein's plea bargain of July of 2023. Prosecutors argued for a lighter sentence for Morgan as she was the lower level participant relative to him, and of course the women get less of a sentence. So naturally, she had nothing to do with it. Kind of like Caroline Ellison and Bankman-Fried. They gave Caroline 2 years for being a great cooperator, and they gave Bankman-Fried 25 years in prison. I mean, kind of sounds similar here. But nonetheless, Morgan pled guilty to money laundering and fraud charges in August of 2023 for helping launder the Bitcoin, which is currently worth $7.2 billion. Good Lord. She faces a maximum combined sentence of 10 years in the slammer, aka prison. That's no joke. Morgan and Lichtenstein were initially believed to have only been responsible for laundering the funds stolen in the 2016 Bitfinex hack. However, Lichtenstein later admitted to being behind the hack and money laundering. And Lichtenstein pled guilty to one count of conspiracy to commit laundering, faces a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. Government prosecutors said that Morgan was initially unaware of how Lichtenstein had obtained the 120,000 Bitcoin. Tell it to the judge. But by early 2020, Lichtenstein told her he was responsible for the hack, and she aided him in laundering the funds. Money laundering, tax avoidance, conspired to conceal his involvement. Morgan made a conscious decision to engage in specific criminal activity, helping her hubby launder millions. What a great wifey, though, right? Just playing. In stolen funds for her personal gain, according to the prosecutor's filing, it was not a momentary lapse or impulsive decision. The defendant consciously participated in the money laundering conspiracy and conspiracy to defraud over the course of years. Prosecutors said that both Morgan and Lichtenstein used a variety of technology, sophisticated means to launder the stolen biddies, including the use of non-compliant crypto exchanges, darknet markets, and crypto mixers to obfuscate their trail. Now, the government also said Morgan used some of the stolen funds to purchase physical gold coins. Jesus, what a silly move, which she buried at a secret location and has since been disclosed to the authorities. Interesting. On top of Morgan, she could have just kept it in self-custody, yet she actually purchased gold with it and left a trail. Not the smartest criminal. On top of Morgan's 18-month sentence, prosecutors asked the court order her to return the crypto assets seized by the government from the Bitfinex hack wallet as its in-kind restitution to Bitfinex. The wallet contains 95,000 Bitcoin, 117,000 Bitcoin Cash Trash, 17,000 BSV, and 118,000 Bitcoin Gold, valued at more than $6 billion. Morgan's sentencing hearing scheduled November 15th, the day after Liechtenstein is said to be sentenced, November 14th. So back-to-back sentencing coming up after the election. Let's go. And that was a mouthful. Let me know your thoughts with some of that. All right, now let's discuss the crazy decade ahead. The headline reads, Bitcoin to have a crazy decade as global wealth managers continue to dive in. Let's go. Now go home and get your shine box, Larry Fink. While some investors may see Bitcoin's current prices as a peak for the asset, industry professionals say the crypto asset will continue to surprise investors as more global wealth managers allocate funds to the biddy. In a new interview with Gareth Jenkinson, Pierre Rochard, and Vice President of the research at Riot Platforms, Dylan Leclerc, the director of the Bitcoin strategy at MetaPlanet, shared their thoughts. And I heard they just had another recent purchase of the Bitcoin as well. They've been buying up like there's no tomorrow. If you're not familiar with MetaPlanet, it's ultimately the Japanese version of MicroStrategy. They started adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet. But anyways, at Bitcoin Amsterdam 2024, Rochard said that it's a misleading narrative. The Bitcoin gains are in the past. The executive said that from a global wealth balance sheet perspective, Bitcoin adoption is still less than 1%. Quoting him here. How many of you attended Bitcoin Amsterdam or watched the stream? Let me know. I think it was just yesterday. While people look at the historical price action of the Bitcoin and they think, oh, all the gains are in the past. Now it's a boring asset. I think that is a very misleading narrative and that they are going to be caught surprised with their pants down. And of course, I add words and paraphrase here just to make the show entertaining. With their pants down. Leclerc echoed the sentiment. The MetaPlanet executive said that right now it is still an exciting time and Bitcoin will see what he describes as a crazy decade ahead. Living la vida loca, BTC. And shout out to Tim Draper. I think he was also speaking at that event. So let's discuss hyper-Bitcoinization, shall we? The concept that goods and services will eventually be priced in Bitcoin instead of fiat money would come in 2 to 3 years. Rochard said it may have already arrived, quoting him here, with Larry Fink going on TV and saying that Bitcoin is above government. It does feel like hyper-Bitcoinization has already arrived. When we are there, and then it is just a matter of getting the word out. Now go home and get your shine box, Larry. The executive described this as a pivotal shift that the leader of the firm with trillions in assets under management would speak so earnestly about the Bitcoin. Quoting Rochard again, I don't get the impression that he's just trying to sell a product. I get the impression that he is actually orange-pilled, and you know he is on board with it. That's right. He coined it a flight to safety, did he not? Leclerc also noted, shout out Leclerc, that the current situation is quite something to behold. As BlackRock pitched decks and CEOs on CNBC, echoed the talking points of the Bitcoin maxis for the last decade. Shout out to the Bitcoin maxis. The executive said that some of the arguments the Bitcoiners have published through the years are now being talked about by the industry titans of finance. And how beautiful is it to front run those titans of finance, the Larry Finks, the Mikey Saylors, the Fidelities, and all those massive asset manager, companies and all that, and publicly traded companies. Pretty lit because they all work for you. If you front ran MicroStrategy before 2020 when they started stacking the biddy on the balance sheet, becoming the first publicly traded company to do so, they work for you. And every time Michael Saylor is on TV preaching about the beauty of Bitcoin and the aesthetics, guess what? Employee of the month status. They work for you. They're pumping your Bitcoin. And that's a beautiful thing. Same thing with Larry Fink. If you front ran him prior to January of this year, he works for you. Employee of the month status. It's a beautiful thing. Next story. Let's discuss the $135,000 target according to the old man, Peter Brandt. And then we'll be discussing the latest from Dan Tapiero of 10T Holdings, suggesting regardless of who win the election we're destined for 100,000, so don't be so worried. And then we'll tap into some live Q&A, the uncensored version of the pod, brand new song from Chandy. We're celebrating her birthday starting today, 10/11. Her official birthday is tomorrow, but very special day today and tomorrow. So double celebration. Make some noise for Chandy. Wish her a happy birthday. She contributes so much to the show, all the music we play each and every day. So we appreciate you, Chandy. And let's dive into our next story of the day. Headline reads, Bitcoin primed to explode by over 120%, according to the veteran trader Peter Brandt. Here's the old man's timeline. I just call him an old man because he, for some reason, blocked me on X back when it was Twitter years ago. So it's just like my way of low blowing him back because it wasn't justified. And I don't know why that is. But nonetheless, the old man tells his 740,000 followers on X, and I'm not one of them, that his price target for Bitcoin is 135 Gs, a level he sees being reached in either August or September of 2025. According to Brandt, Bitcoin typically records massive gains during the second half of the halving cycles. Makes a point there on what could invalidate his bullish thesis for the crypto king. He says here, close below 48,000 negates my chart analysis. Highly unlikely, in my opinion, that we close below 48. But he's saying we could be dropping before a pumping, as outlined in the chart. The seasoned trader also says Bitcoin is outperforming gold as a store of value. Well, of course it is. Brandt notes how, based on Bayesian analysis, the tool used to compute the probabilities of the hypothesis of more data it obtained, the Bitcoin to gold ratio could remain above 100 once the three-figure threshold is crossed. As he shares here, Bitcoin or gold, which is king of store of value story. Bitcoin is kicking gold's arse. Resistance at 32 to 1, currently at 23 to 1, support in the high teens to 1. New all-time high, sets target at 100 plus to 1. Bayesian analysis at 30% of the market, rolling over for good, as outlined here in the Bitcoin to gold ratio. And meanwhile, Bitcoin will continue to ratio the gold. How do you like that? No diddy. Brandt's bullish stance on Bitcoin is similar to that of the co-founder of blockchain analytics firm Glassnode. Earlier in the week, Glassnode co-founders, who go by the handle Necho, whatever that says, on X said a correction which saw Bitcoin drop from 66.5 to slightly below 60 amid tensions in the Middle East would be short-lived, quoting them here. Last week's geopolitical risk led to a Bitcoin correction, but fundamentals strengthen regardless. This positive shift is driven by the network growth and rising liquidity. The Bitcoin move up is just beginning. So there you go. And in this chart shows you the network growth versus the liquidity. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the old man. Peter Brandt, can you see Bitcoin prime explosion? 120% to 135 Gs, baby. Let me know in the comments. Now let's continue with our feature story of the day. Check it. U.S. election outcome won't stop Bitcoin from hitting 100,000 per coin, according to 10T Holdings CEO Dan Tapiero. So let's break this baby down. As you can see here in the headline, the United States election outcome won't change the bullish trajectory of cryptos such as Bitcoin, which will likely tap 100,000 per coin, and the crowd is going wild, regardless of which presidential candidate prevails. According to Dan Tapiero, founder of 10T Holdings, which stands for 10 trillion, by the way. He said this October 10th at this event. Right here. This was the permissionless event, actually. I don't think it really matters, he says. Everything is going up now. The election will pass, said Tapiero during the panel at the permissionless conference in Salt Lake City, Utah. Let me know if you were at that event. Bitcoin is a proxy for cryptocurrency generally, and I believe it will head to 100,000 relatively soon, and other assets will follow. And here you can see the Bitcoin quarterly returns from 2015 to 2024. I mean, numbers don't lie. From first quarter to fourth quarter, and the breakdown each year. Now, the November U.S. presidential election pits Republican presidential nominee Trump, who said he wants to make America the crypto capital of the world. That's right. Make America the Bitcoin mining capital, I believe he said as well, against Democratic nominee or whatever, Harris, who has been comparatively quiet in the industry. The U.S. SEC has taken an aggressive stance on alleged violations of crypto companies, leading many in the industry to see the Dems, who currently control the White House, as anti-crypto. That's pretty accurate. Trump has promised to fire Gary Gensler. Yay! Can I get an FGG? Who currently heads the SEC? And starting in September, Harris upped her crypto game, listing block tech amongst several emerging tech where she wants the U.S. to remain dominant. Believe nothing that lady says. Obviously, I'm preaching to the choir. On October 2nd, Grawal, who heads enforcement of the SEC, stepped down, possibly signaling a pivot from within the current administration. Meanwhile, some crypto industry Trump supporters say that the former U.S. president lost their votes after the widely criticized debut of a Trump-affiliated crypto project in September. So some, I guess, crypto folks did not like that fact. Interesting. The influence of presidential candidates' stance of crypto on voter decision-making. It says 37% significant impact on my presidential vote. 73% say some impact on my presidential vote. So according to the ZX Square Capital investment chief, ZK Cheng, the Bitcoin price will benefit from the election regardless of who wins. I also agree that 100K is inevitable regardless of who is in office, but I do think a Trump win will pump us much faster here in Q4. Yeah, I mean, I do believe that, but I think the end goal will remain the same. Bitcoin's going to do what it do because Bitcoin do what it do, and it's on its own trajectory. The impact of April's Bitcoin halving event has historically led to strong fourth quarters, and both presidential candidates have failed to address a vital issue that could play into Bitcoin favor, according to Shang, who told Cointelegraph. As both Republican and Democratic parties do not appropriately address the ever-increasing U.S. debts, that's right, they just make fun of each other, and deficits during the election, this will be very bullish for Bitcoin, especially post-U.S. election. Meanwhile, blockchain tech continues to gain traction with billions of dollars in institutional money flowing into the Bitty and Ethereum funds this year, 2024. Quoting Tapiero, this move toward putting all value on the blockchain is bigger than one election, and so I think the tide continues, and it rolls, and it also is global, according to Tapiero. So there you go. Yo, Dan Tapiero. Let me know if you agree with that 100K prediction for the King Crypto. Holler at your boy. And there you go, yo. Welcome to the Q&A segment of the live stream. I'm going to be streaming for the next hour. We're going to switch soon to the uncensored version of the pod. Make some noise. Read your predictions out loud. I'll read your comments. At least I'll do my best to do so. Smash the likes, lads. Thank Calv Beans, HLV. JV, love you, bro. Been on the Spotify listening. Shout out to the Spotify. Let's go. Is the Utah event over? I don't know. Allegedly, maybe it started yesterday. I don't know. FGG, the SEC won't let me be. That's right. F the SEC. Free Ross. That's right. Trump also promised to free Ross on day one with a pardon. He's serving currently a life sentence or two. Up forever, Laura. Gary and Cammy Bean been sitting in the tree. KISSINGA. Gary and Cammy. What we think Bitcoin gonna close this month? Ooh, that's a good question.